person's cock.
Sizing up Murphy, drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. J-Dub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is New York. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Sunday, December 29th, on the heels of the Thunder obliterating the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't have the score. What was the score?
It was 130 to 106.
130 to 106. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got Jay De Silva with me.
Fellas.
We got Nick Crane.
I need JD to tell me who this person is at some point in the show.
Nosferatu? You want me to tell you who Nosferatu is? The vampire?
What does that mean?
Why don't you
It's like-
rattle off the text that you sent Jacob this morning, Silva?
He's like Dracula, but not.
Silva told me it's Dracula's son, and I don't know if he was
Oh.
kidding or not.
It's not Dracula's son.
Okay.
It's another famous vampires movie. It's like one of the first horror movies ever was Nosferatu from like the 1920s. And we just got a remake, Nick, and it's excellent. You see his hog. It's excellent.
Why?
And it's,
Can we
now,
please clip that?
let me be clear. It is excellent and you see his hog. It is not excellent because you see his hog.
What significance does seeing his? Are you
It took
trying to
us
sell us?
2 minutes. We didn't even make it 2 minutes into the
Are you trying to
podcast.
sell us on watching this with that factoid?
No.
Huh.
Just letting you know.
I know nothing else about the movie except you see the man's hog.
It's cool. It's a cool, creepy vampire movie.
I thought you were talking about his hog.
No. Carrie says nose for hog too.
Oh my God, we're 3 minutes into the show.
Just already off the rails.
Okay.
Hey, I'm also here, and I have some
uh,
breaking news to share on the podcast.
Oh no.
I was walking out.
You also
with
saw the hog?
No. I was walking out of the arena tonight with none other than Mr. and Mrs. Holmgren themselves. Little inside info here. Per sources, when asked about Chet's hip, and I quote, good. So you heard it here first. This is what you all can get
Looking good.
here at the Uncontested. I got a one-word response. Good.
Good.
Good. Nick?
What?
We all said good. You're supposed to say good. You are missing the context clues
What?
tonight.
Uh,
We really got to finish the intro to the pod. But I'm just going to throw Smoot's chat up here. We don't have to read it though. We are brought to you by Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. We spent some time over at Prairie Artisan Ales today, JD.
yeah, I had a great time. I'm having I had a fourth quarter there. We played some trivia. Found out I was locked the hell in for that round one of trivia, by the way.
We killed round one of trivia, and then we were awful.
And then
the
we
rest
were
of the
awful.
round.
I'm drinking another fourth quarter right now. It's great.
I'll one up you, Jay De Silva.
Unbelievable.
Buzzer beater.
How are you
Still
still
has
finding it?
It's everywhere here in Texas, brother.
Unbelievable.
God, I'm gonna have to close the chat. JD, you're on chat duty tonight, by the way. So have
Sounds
fun.
great.
Hey, if you haven't already, if you for some god awful reason enjoy listening to us talk about Nosferatu's hog and basketball, We have a Patreon you can join. We'd love to have you guys come and hang out and chat hoops with us. It's always a great time. Gentlemen, the folks are due another watch party very soon.
Yes.
When is it?
Okay. I don't know. We'll figure that out, and
We'll
we'll
discuss.
post it. We'll post it in the Discord.
Well,
Post pod.
are you talking about an in-person watch party or a Discord watch party?
The Discord watch party.
Okay.
Both.
All the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an awful lead in, and you don't even give us any context, and you expect us to have all the answers. I guess that's what you do on this podcast. But
Yeah. I gotta.
We have the answers.
Someone's
Silva
gotta
and
turn
I-
the comments. I'm gonna ban everyone in the chat. This is.
That's the best. This is the best comment we've got all year by
oh my
Connor.
god,
Hog tree on.
Oh, gosh.
OnlyFans for men.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to turn the comments off.
Yeah, I can't.
But hey, Silva and I already have 2 watch parties scheduled, 2 hate watch parties as we watch the Memphis Grizzlies take on Houston, and who else?
That was the only one I know of. Is
I
there
think.
another?
Oh yeah, they play them twice coming up. So be sure to join the
be there.
Patreon to hate watch.
So we do.
I'm closing the chat. I cannot focus right now. This is very bad. Okay. What else do we need to talk about before we start the show? We talked about the Patreon. We talked about Prairie. We talked about Nosferatu's wiener. Okay, here's how we're starting. This is for all the people who bitch in the comment section about how we never actually start talking basketball. I want you to know that your hate fuels me. At some point, I'm going to do a whole podcast where we never talk Thunder. Gentlemen, question of the night. You get to pick one person on planet Earth that you can throw to the ground like Amen Thompson threw Tyler Hero to the ground tonight. One person just to take all that rage out on. Who do you choose, JD?
My heart says Chris Vernon, but the funniest answer would be Hasbullah.
Thank you. Nick.
I am too kind of a person to throw anybody to the ground.
Nick,
That
you're full
is
of shit.
false.
I'm way too kind.
I
You're
know who
full of
Nick would
shit.
do it to.
Who?
Biased Houston.
Oh, that's a good one.
No. That's I would never say the name of someone I don't actually know. That's just messed up.
Taylor.
Well, my 1A is obviously Nick, but 1B, you already did Chris Vernon Silva. So I'd probably have to go with Draymond Green. Maybe Pat Bev.
Oh, that'd be fun. Not Jimmy Carter. Hey, Jimmy Carter.
Oh my god.
Pour one out for Jimmy.
Shout out Jimmy. Hey, he was a good man. Good man. My answer is the Rizzler.
Bro, that's literally
on
illegal
brand.
to throw a kid to the ground like that.
I
You will go to jail.
No laws in this exercise.
Time well served.
Give me one reason that you dislike the Rizzler.
Have you seen him?
Give me one reason.
I'm throwing his ass off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Why?
I don't like him.
But why?
What if I change my answer to what's his name? Little Gronk?
Baby Gronk,
Baby Gronk.
That I can get behind.
but not the Rizzler.
What
Baby
about
Gronk is actually annoying and does stupid things online. The Rizzler's just a kid.
I think the Rizzler does too.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't talk crap or he just
Yeah,
goes
he
online.
got in a
and
rap
does-
battle with Little Gronk.
No, Lil Gronk made the rap battle. The Rizzler don't even care about it. That's like Grizzlies fans talking crap to Thunder fans. Like it's just,
Why do you like
it's
the Rizzler
one-sided.
so much, Nick?
I think he's hilarious.
I'm so glad this year is almost over.
Silva, can you play the wrist sounder, please? Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
think Jacob's threatened by the Rizzler.
I am.
Yeah.
Don't like him.
Oh man. Well, guys, there was a basketball game that was played tonight.
Let's talk about some NBA basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm still trying to get this score pulled up. 130 to 106. Started the game down 9-0 against the jawless Grizzlies.
No jaw.
The jawless.
jaw.
Grizzlies.
Jawless.
The jawless.
What happened to
No,
their
The
jaws?
wide open.
Oh,
Taylor.
Someone mute Taylor, please.
Taylor.
No Ja Morant. I heard he was at the H&H gun range. And no Zach Edey.
Maybe night trips.
Oh my God.
Um,
Will we make it through this podcast?
no.
Probably
The
not.
answer is no.
This is what happens when we go a week without a podcast.
I
We all
know.
get
We,
back
just,
together.
we gotta get it. We gotta get it all out.
Yeah.
Grizzlies start up 9-0. Thunder respond with a 66-33 run. Just beat the brakes off the Grizzlies. Chris Vernon was coping online. I don't care if they didn't have Ja or not. This was just an ass whooping from the word go. Well, actually, not from the word go. From about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter on. It was just a complete and total ass whooping. Really brought a lot of joy to my heart. But JD and Taylor and I were all in person. Nick was watching from a television screen.
That's what you
So
think.
Nick, let's start with you. Your big takeaway from this game tonight.
When Oklahoma City's tertiary scorers are making shots, meaning Ajay Mitchell, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams, I think this team's going to be almost impossible to beat.
You say that, and they shot 32% as a team from the three-point line tonight.
I mean, it's more than just threes. Like it's
Oh,
all
yeah,
types
yeah,
of
yeah.
shots
I
from
get
their
you, I get
tertiary
you.
scores.
I got you.
I love that you were listing tertiary scorers, and AJ Mitchell was the first name you said, and it's like deserved. He was the second leading.
He was
the
awesome.
second leading scorer tonight with 17, 6 of 11.
That's
Dude's awesome.
crazy.
3 of
He's
5
really
from 3,
good.
a rebound, 3 assists, a steal. Well, he was a plus 20 tonight. JD, you had a little comp in the car tonight.
He had a what in the where?
A comp in the
Comp
car.
in the car.
For
a comp in
AJ?
the car for AJ. I'm
Yes.
queuing you up. What was the comp?
I thought you were gonna continue.
No,
and-
We were waiting for you.
JD, what was the comp you had in the car?
yeah,
There we
I
go.
heard this or read
JD
this.
drank too many tube beers on the way to the game tonight.
Yes.
Shout out Carrie.
I heard. I don't know who to attribute this to, but someone compared him to Andrew Nemhard on the Pacers, which is a fun, interesting comp. I was saying like a Malcolm Brogdon type early this season, but yeah, Nemhard's a good young player to compare him to, and they do have similar games. And he's I think Justin mentioned that like if he was the 10th pick in the draft or the 12th pick in the draft, he'd be getting so much more buzz than he is now. But he's been an all rookie team guy at this point.
Absolutely.
I think too, part of the reason he doesn't get as much attention is Oklahoma City has at least 5, if not 7 guys that are like really, 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 really good defenders on the roster. AJ is a very good defender, but since he's like the 8th best on the team, he gets 0 credit for it. That's the piece of his game that if like you don't watch the Thunder, you don't know. The dude picks up full court and he uses his underrated size. Like I think people think he's like 6'2". He's not. He's a big dude and he's beefy in a good way. Like
Long
he
wingspan.
does a lot of incredible things defensively.
Yep.
And that's just defensively. Offensively, he's awesome.
Especially when that 3 ball is going in, like it
The
has
3
been
balls
over the
going in,
past
but the
week.
drive and kick, the lefty scoop shots, like all of it. I have a problem with getting really high on some of the Thunder rookies and saying some outlandish things and then them not coming true. And I'm really afraid I'm going down the rabbit hole again, but I don't know, dude. Like, he's just freaking good. Like, there's no, like, I was super high on Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and I probably shouldn't have been. Like, he played good, but he was also playing for like a really bad Thunder team.
Rest in peace to Poku,
Yes. God bless his soul.
or
This is-
Serbian Prince.
He might be Nosferatu. But AJ is like doing this for the best team in the league. And he's doing it for the Thunder team that's got the best start in team history. And it's not like it's a small role and he's coming in against like, bench, like deep bench guys. Like he started the other night. He's playing like heavy minutes in the second lineup and being one of the best guys and most consistent guys on the court. I'm kind of blown away by how well he's played.
So I know we
have
need to move
seen
on from
this?
AJ. But
Would we have
Jacobs,
seen this if Topic was sorry, Taylor? Would we have seen this if Topic was healthy? Would he have gotten
that's
this
a great
opportunity?
point. Probably not.
Not in the same way, I don't think.
Unless, I mean, there's no guarantee Topic would have been a contributor day one. Like, he has the professional experience and he's really, really good against adults historically. That doesn't mean he's going to come in and have this. Right. I think if you ask this question July 30th, we're probably all sitting here saying Dylan Jones is the one that is playing this role and AJ's in the G League. And it's been the opposite. So I think it's easy to say Topic would have taken away, but maybe not. Maybe AJ's still the best rookie on this team in year one.
So Jacob asked Carrie and I this at the game where we were watching AJ go through a really good stretch there. I think at the end of the first half, where would you rank AJ in terms of like Thunder's best players? And I'm curious Nick and Silva's thoughts. Just ballpark.
Like,
it's interesting because you start getting into like there's the obvious top 6 to 7 players, and then you get into like the Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Jay Will range.
That's where we had the most conversation when Jacob asked us. We said 8 or 9 for what it's worth.
Like if you're giving him a 2K rating, for example, I think he would be higher than Jay Will.
I got a question. Of players that actually play minutes, what do you think he's ranked in usage?
Probably pretty high. He's got the ball in his hands.
What do you think?
Like 6th,
4th,
7th.
Ooh, 7th. Okay.
Which is still it's higher than I would have thought.
Yeah, I'd put him at like the 8th, 9th best player on the team, 10th best player on the team.
I think 10th is probably my answer.
Right.
So I think you have to consider like in a playoff rotation, like it's easy to talk about regular season weirdo minutes and lineups, but like if push came to shove and Mark only played 9 guys in the playoffs, would he make the cut? He'd be right on the fringe. I think he's 9th or 10th probably.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a 9-man rotation in the playoffs, and Chet's healthy, it's Shea, Dort, Dub, Chet, Hartenstein, Kaysen, AC, and then is it Wiggins, Joe?
I think you could
the way Joe's shooting recently. I think it's easy to say AJ's been better the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is Joe starting to shoot the ball well again. He's very clearly more valuable than AJ. I mean, the team's offensive numbers and the primary stars in this team's numbers are remarkable playing next to Joe. But I think he's in that same conversation.
A lot of AJ love. What else from tonight's game really stood out? I'll throw one out here that if we want to chat, we can. If we don't, we can just kind of brush it aside and move on. But we saw, I think 2 things related to this. Isaiah Hartenstein took 2 threes. Isaiah Hartenstein was open enough to take about 20 threes. How Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't get called for like 53 in the keys tonight, I have no clue. The brother was down there building a homeless encampment and just sleeping under the basket. Insane that he never got one called. But I thought it was good to see Isaiah shoot 2, and I would like him to shoot more, even though he hasn't made one yet, to pull that defense out. What do you guys think about Isaiah Hartenstein and 3-point shots and maybe that number ramping up?
It would probably feel less necessary if Chet was playing. We wouldn't.
That was my first thought
at all, really.
Yep.
But it's kind of cool to see because that is still a wrinkle that this team misses with Chet being out. I think Chet being in there and spacing the floor lets a guy like J-Dub drive more and have more freedom. You know, we can have a whole conversation about him later, but that's just another little wrinkle that I don't mind that he's trying out right now. I hope he does it more. When he hits one, it's gonna feel great. But what is he, 0 of 3 on the season now, or something like that? Jacob, what did you just read?
Smoot.
Oh, Smoot. Oh my God.
I think like, would it be cool if Hartenstein started making threes? For sure. I also think it's okay for teams to just sink their center into the center of the paint and let Hartenstein catch top of the key or free throw line extended and do his DHO game that's super effective with no traffic or anybody getting his way. And when the guard defender or the guy that he's screening for the guard coming off of the DHO decides to like play a certain way, Hartenstein is literally wide open 9 out of 10 times for his patented mid-range floater because the center is just sinking so far. So I think like ideally he could make some threes, which would force the big to come out. But ultimately, like it's still crazy effective whenever he's stop looking at the chat, close the chat, pretend like it's the trivia. So I think it's fine either way. Like I don't think the Thunder needs him to be a 3-point threat, really.
And I think you bring up a good point too, Nick. 2 things there with iHeart being at the top of the key. You mentioned the dribble handoffs. And again, the Thunder only shot 31.8% from 3 tonight, but I would argue the majority of those 14, off the top of my head, I would assume the majority of those 14 made 3-point attempts game in the first half. And what we were seeing there was just those perimeter players getting wide open for the Thunder with iHeart being at the top of the key, not being guarded by a big, bringing that big up and like pick and roll coverage or whatever it may be. The other thing is this team is pretty elite when it comes to the mid-range jumpers. I don't have those stats pulled up in front of me. I'm curious where they rank. But when you have J-Dub and Shai who are as good as they are in the mid-range, as well as iHeart's floater, we'll take that all day.
You're basically, if you're an opposing team like Memphis that's just going to sag your big, you are literally allowing a playmaking center and a bunch of really smart guards to play 2 against 1 is what you're doing. So great. Do it.
I'm with you. Any other takeaways from tonight?
You can kind of tell J-Dub is still processing things a bit. It's kind of I'm glad this is happening at this point in the season where they're 26-5, not a lot of pressure on them right now. You could just tell J-Dub's like thinking things through a little more than usual when going to the rim. Like he's had a lot of at rim finishing issues recently, and he's just kind of, I don't know, the game's not coming to him as naturally as it usually does because of the whole free throw narrative. Like he was getting obliterated again at the paint tonight and not getting calls. And you can tell he's thinking about that and like, what should he do? And if you're an NBA player that you've done this your entire life, and all of a sudden now you're like, well, maybe I need to do something differently. And you start thinking about it more, you end up with less shots or really awkward finishes where you're trying to like clank it off the very top of the backboard to drop it in to like avoid contact, or I don't know. He's just kind of in a not a limbo, but he's processing things right now.
So 14 points for J-Dub tonight, 7 of 16 shooting, 0 of 5 from 3. He did a lot of great things. 10 rebounds. He was 2 assists short of a triple-double. And he continues to impact the floor at a high level on both ends of the court. I mean, he continues to have really good defensive plays. Thunder and Mark are putting him in challenging positions defensively where he's guarding a lot of different style of players. But you're right. He's going through an offensive slump. And when Shai is being doubled, like, for example, we'll get into the Charlotte game, but there towards the end of the Charlotte game, it was like there was no other outlet for Shai when J-Dub doesn't have it going. It's not quite the dub that we saw last year, right? And I think he obviously still has that in him. He's going to adjust, but he's going through an offensive slump as a whole, and we definitely need to see that get better.
I'm looking at the box score right now. 1 Thunder starter shot free throws.
That's insane. It was just Shai?
Just Shai.
6 of 6 from the line. Wow. No other free throw attempts. That's wild.
That's insane. That's criminal is what that is. Anyways.
I've got one last one for this game, just at the Thunder bench. I thought was pretty solid. Like you said, shooting maybe wasn't high in terms of percentages, especially after halftime, but 51 bench points for the Thunder, pretty significant. And I've talked about that here over the past couple of weeks, especially with no Chet. Like the Thunder bench really needs to step up offensively and help Shai out. I think that also will get J-Dub going a bit more. And so that was really good to see. I think they've definitely have been trending upwards over the past week or so. Oh, hey, also the Thunder 26-5, best start in Thunder history. Maybe we should mention that. Pretty incredible.
And Jacob mentioned that their best win streak is 12. Is that correct?
So if they win New Year's Eve, they will be at the tie the longest streak in Thunder history. And then you do that, and then you win Thursday against the Clippers, you break the longest streak in Thunder history.
It's just weird, though, because it's not really, but it is. 12 official games.
The Bucks game does not count.
Obviously, but they did lose. I'm not saying it
doesn't.
From my mind. I'm not saying it doesn't count because it I guess it doesn't count, but it's just it would be weird to break the franchise record when you literally lost a game smack dab in the middle.
That's what I get for doing quick math. I was told there would be no math. Shout out to Justin, who's not on. 61 points off the bench for the Thunder. Shout out Sean.
Pretty good. Thunder Chick in our chat, who we saw at the arena. Shout out to Thunder Chick. She says, for those who keep track of such things, Thunder are now on pace for 69 wins. 3-2-1. Nice.
Nice. The other two don't understand.
Very nice.
Not in the zeitgeist.
Not in the zeitgeist. That's the first time I think I've ever said that word before. You guys want to play some trivia?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Guess who still hasn't gotten his whiteboard yet?
The whiteboard is in my car, and Taylor was supposed to meet us at Prairie.
That's true.
And Taylor did not show up at Prairie.
I did not, for good reasons.
Hey, Chris Vernon, eat my shorts.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Got to keep the bit alive.
That's right.
All right.
It's a thing. That's
what it's
Prairie
about.
Trivia tonight. Hey, we went and played some trivia at Prairie tonight.
It is so much fun.
It's a blast. I kind of suck, but it's a blast. We trolled a little bit. One of the questions was the names of the 3 astronauts that were like the first Americans on the moon. It was like Neil Armstrong,
Buzz Aldrin.
And who was the third one? And we didn't know, so we put that Russian dog. They launched to space.
Yeah.
So we had some fun, but the trivia is really, really cool. You guys should definitely go up to Prairie Artisan Ales tap room, hang out on Sundays, 4:30 p.m., play some trivia. Maybe we'll jump in and do a round of Thunder trivia up there someday. Nick, one more time for the folks at home. Can you plug which beer you're drinking right now?
Buzzer Beater, a sour ale with natural flavors that taste like Gatorade. Mine's blue Gatorade. Silva has the yellow Gatorade version called Fourth Quarter.
There you go.
Some electrolytes in there too. It's a
Yep,
good combination.
Yep.
You hydrate while you're drinking beer.
Science.
Way to do it.
All right. Shout out to the folks on the Patreon and in the Discord who help me. When I say help me, they just make the trivia questions and then I just read them. Rob Baird and Smoot tonight coming through clutch with trivia questions. Smoot's got 2. And then Rob's got 2. So you guys get 4 trivia questions tonight.
Nice.
Trivia question number 1 is from Smoot. It is Thunder versus Rockets related. Or sorry, not Rockets. I'm sorry. Memphis. They played Memphis. JD, maybe we'll get this one right because I'm sure this is baked into his brain. Name the players for the Thunder who actually got minutes against the Grizzlies on the 73-point loss night who are still on the team today.
3 players?
What about do injuries count?
They had
on
to
the roster or played in the game?
Played in the game. Name the players that are currently on the roster now who played in the game in the 73-point loss in Memphis a few years back. Again, only played. If they sat on the bench, it doesn't count.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm surprised there's 3.
I'm surprised there's 3.
I didn't say 3.
3
you said
years
you
ago.
Wait, you said the 3 players.
I said name the players who played versus the Grizzlies on the 73-point loss that are still on the team.
Well, how
today.
many are there?
I'm not giving you the number.
I don't think we're allowed to know. They had to log minutes in the game.
They logged minutes in the 73-point loss, and they're still on the roster today.
Okay. I'm ready.
I think I am too, unfortunately.
Connor says, I did say 3. Connor, you're a liar. Get out of the chat.
Connor, you've got our back as always.
Connor B, and the B is for bastard.
There it is.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. All right, read them out, boys.
Ooh, Kenrich was a good
Aaron-
one.
Aaron Wiggins and Kenrich Williams is what I said.
Nick says 0.
My brain is broken after Jacob's explanations. I don't even know what the question is.
I had Lou Dort and Aaron Wiggins because I
The
cannot
answer.
remember when Wiggins was drafted.
One player.
Lou Dort.
wow.
I
It was
almost
Lou.
left off Wiggins. Almost left him off.
Kenrich Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were on the team but did not play. Shai was
You
injured.
know what?
Kenny got a DMP.
As
Wiggins
soon as
was drafted the next year, I think.
As soon as Taylor showed the name Lou Dort, it was like a flashback of memory and images of this
PTSD.
game. Remember him out there.
Question 2 from Smoot is also related to Thunder Grizzlies lore. Counting tonight's game, Shai has played 13 times against the Grizzlies since joining the Thunder. 13 times. What is his record in those 13 games?
Oh,
He's played
Including
the
tonight?
including tonight. So he's at least 1-12.
good math.
Make sure you do the math and you don't do 7-7 or something, you idiots. He's played 13
And-
times against the Grizzlies. Shai has. What is his record?
And this is including Clippers days or no?
No, Thunder days.
Just with the Thunder.
Thunder days. There's a
13
lot
total
of
games.
those that are a lot of those, like the good majority of those are during the bad
shit.
years.
During the shit.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
JD,
ready.
what do you got?
I got 8 and 7. 8 and 7.
That's 15, brother.
Jeez, JD, I just said do the math.
My bad. I
were told
had
there
it
would be no
written
math.
down. Told there would be no math.
Nick goes 7 and 6. What did Taylor have?
10 and 3. I think it's good for some reason.
I'll tell you one thing. JD got this one wrong.
Hey. What about 8 and 5?
7 and 6.
Whoa,
Well
let's
done, Nick.
go.
You know what sucks?
Whoa.
I had that written down and I erased it and then wrote the wrong damn sum. And I'm glad I'm not looking at the comments right now because they're probably cooking my ass.
They are cooking you right now.
I currently see 69 unread comments and I won't be looking.
Nice. 2 questions from Rob Baird. He said, sorry for the late trivia questions, but I will not fail the show. Robert,
The man.
thank you for your service. How many teams have either 0 or 1 player averaging over 30 minutes per game on their roster? You get a point if you can name each of the teams. They have to have
Whoa.
0 or 1 player averaging over 30 minutes a game. No more than 1. Write down a number of teams, and if you can guess the team name, you'll also get a bonus point that I'm not counting.
Say the question one more time.
Okay. How many teams
Mhm.
have a player averaging, or how many? God, geez,
That's why I'm asking.
I know. How many teams have either 0 or 1 player averaging over 30 minutes a game? So if they have 3 players averaging over 30, doesn't count. We're looking for only teams that are playing 1 guy or less over 30 minutes a game. Does it make sense, Nick?
Yes, and then you said if you can name the team. Does that mean there's one team?
Bonus points.
Teams.
Okay, the
plural.
teams. Okay.
So what's the number of teams, and can you give me some names? So if OKC has 3 players averaging 30 plus, they don't count on this.
What?
We're only looking for teams that have 0 players or 1 player averaging
What?
30 plus minutes. What do you mean, what?
The Knicks.
Yeah, we're not looking
That's
for
what
the
I was
teams
hoping
that are
for.
playing a ton of guys a lot of minutes. We're looking for guys that are playing teams that are playing not a lot of minutes.
All right, I wrote mine down.
Okay. Dang it.
Taylor
Okay.
misunderstood the assignment.
I did.
Okay.
I'm just going to stick with my answer, though.
All right.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
JD, read us what you got.
I've got 3. The Warriors, Blazers, Hornets.
Nick has
The Spurs.
TP has
I misunderstood the assignment, but went with 10. And I had Celtics.
You wrote them all
listed.
down?
Yeah. Or no, not all. I listed 4 and scratched off the Knicks. Celtics, Thunder, Nuggets, Magic.
okay. The correct answer, I didn't write it down. There are 3 teams. Memphis
Well
has 0
done,
players.
Silva.
Memphis has 0 players over 30 minutes. Golden State only has 1, which is
Steph.
Kuminga.
Steph Curry, 31.3 minutes a game. San Antonio only has 1, which is
Wembanyama.
Vicky.
No,
Victor Wembanyama.
he plays more than 30.
33
That is kind
minutes
of
a
crazy.
game.
I'm surprised. He always looks tired. That's not a diss. Like he does.
Next question.
So did I get that right?
You got the number right. You just missed the teams, which is fine.
I got the Warriors. Counts for something.
Yes. Which team has 6 players averaging over 30 minutes a game? There's one team in the league that has 6 guys averaging 30 plus. Injuries do play a role in this one.
I'm ready.
One
Question is,
team, one team has 6 players averaging 30 or more. Who is the team?
Taylor's frozen in a funny funny frame.
Yes, he is. Should I remove him for right now?
Probably. You ready?
Who's the team? Knicks. Knicks. And we got Taylor back now.
I'm back. Yeah, Knicks.
It is not the Knicks.
What?
Is it the Celtics?
It is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Weird.
You guys want to guess the 6 players?
I mean, half their damn team. Trey Murphy,
Trey Murphy at 34.
CJ,
CJ at 33.6 or 33.5.
oh.
I'm sorry.
Missy,
Herb Jones.
Herb Jones, 32.5.
Missy.
Nope. Another guard.
Who's their rookie? They have a rookie or a
Who's the main guard on the team?
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray, 33.6. Who is the tall boy that Lou Dort had in hell?
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram, 33.1. And he hasn't played many games, but his minutes per game average for
DJ?
the big boy.
Zion.
That's a big old boy. Zion Williams, 31 minutes per game.
And all like 6 that he's played.
Yes. I think he's maybe played 31 minutes for this season.
Yep.
Take a break.
Yes, sir.
We have in the chat Zion averaging 30 minutes ordering food. Got to get that po' boy. We will be right back after this break. All right, we are back. Gentlemen, New Year's Eve is coming up. Nick, what kind of New Year's Eve guy are you? What are you doing on a New Year's Eve?
The same thing I do on a regular night.
Listen to Rocket
lots of
Scooter
drinking.
Faces?
Lots of drinking. Jesus. I think you're the guy that's gone out 2 nights in a row, Taylor. I think that's
right.
It's your thing. No,
I'm
I
struggling
mean,
a bit.
probably eat some really good food and stay up late doing dumb things, watching sports and TV shows, and just started Squid Game season 2 last night. So probably do some of that.
JD, what kind of New Year's Eve boy are you?
I usually meet up with some friends somewhere. I think I might go to the casino this year and drink and lose $40 in 5 minutes and then go home.
Sounds like a blast. TP?
I'll be at the Thunder game. Dang it.
Hey, that makes
I'm
two of us,
excited.
buddy.
I'm looking forward to it. See you and Carrie, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Should be good. Should be good. Well, some people on New Year's Eve make a New Year's resolution.
Do they?
We are going to make some. We're not going to make New Year's resolutions. We're going to say what we think Thunder players and some NBA players' New Year's resolutions and NBA teams' New Year's resolutions will be. Here is the trick. One word. So your resolution can't be J-Dub. His resolution is to finally convince the refs to give him a fair whistle.
Boo! That's what I had.
Of course,
Of course
that's what
you
you
did.
had. One word. So it's less of a resolution and more of like a mantra. JD, do we have some background music we can play during this? Not the Christmas music. Don't we have like we're not playing the funeral music, not on Jimmy Carter's day.
Well, Taylor went out of focus. No, I mean, we have our intro. We have the old classic upbeat bed.
Let's do this. This is very New Year's Eve-ish.
Yeah, I like
Is
it.
it?
Is it weird that this reminds me of the Peanuts song?
Can we play the song I played pre-show?
No.
All right, one word resolutions. And chat, if you got some, drop them as well. They can be an NBA team, or it can be a Thunder player, or it can be a Thunder coach.
Let me know if this is too loud, chat. Or you.
I'll kick us off.
Sean is spot on.
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
Taylor's cooked. I'm going SGA. I don't know if it's one word. MVP.
An acronym is fine. It's kind of becoming, I don't know how much you want to unpack each one of these, but it feels like the cards could be shifting in his favor for this if the Nuggets are not a top 5 seed and
Luka going down.
Luka going down.
Unfortunately, but it's
Giannis has been good, but
Bucks are also not in the top 4 in the East. Bucks.
Right, burp.
Tatum seems to just like kind of fade away into obscurity for some reason also, even though he's having a good season. But
what else you guys got?
I guess mine would be for Shai shooting. I would like to at least added long distance shooting, but I'll go with shooting.
For J-Dub, how about finishing?
I like that. Yep, that's good.
Hey,
That's good. Yeah, he's struggling around the rim for sure. And a lot of that, like you said, Silva is trying to, or with the frustration of not getting the calls when he's driving to the rim. But I think that's a good one.
anybody got a Chet one?
Yeah. Health.
Yep, that's good. Trying to think.
Nick?
I'm trying to do something that's not the most basic, obvious one.
The
on
one
planet
word
Earth.
makes it hard.
It does.
Oh, we lost JD, which means we lost the music.
Damn. Let's go Kenrich burst. I think he's doing some awesome things, but he's moving kind of slow. And I think if he's going to be an impactful playoff guy, the athleticism is going to need to pop a bit more. So
Ajay Mitchell. Security. He wants that long-term contract.
which they should not give him till the day after the trade deadline.
Why not? Will
Gives
he
you a
be
little
at
more
his 50-game
flexibility.
limit?
Roster flexibility.
Well,
Yep.
50 games would be the day after.
Oh,
and you get
beautiful.
a
Okay.
lot more flexibility. I think it's built that way. You get a lot more flexibility with him not promoted, if you will, till then.
I like that.
I got one for Kenrich. Hair.
It's a good one for Caruso
There's-
too.
I just
Hey, you watch your damn mouth. All
well,
right?
there's a gap. There's a gap between. You know, he has the curl in the back. There's still it hasn't grown yet. The piece between. Just can't stop looking at it.
The shag is not fully came back in yet.
No,
That's fair. That's fair. He's working on it. Mine, I have one for Caruso. Remember, it would be nice if he could remember how to shoot consistently from three like last
His
season.
51st dates.
J. Will. Boom.
Oh gosh.
well done.
Let's go.
I feel like if we asked ChatGPT the 10 New Year's resolutions, these would be them.
Yep. Thunder Chick says Taylor's New Year's resolution: whiteboard.
No kidding.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking the bit here. with my-
You
I-
can't
I-
see
Thunder
it,
notebook.
brother.
I do
I know.
not. George says Usman Jang's word is trade.
That's good.
We've got Matt Noonan in the chat. J-Dub fouled or foul, I guess. What about some NBA teams?
Brooklyn Nets, tank.
It's a good one.
Too good.
New Orleans Pelicans, health.
Or not at this point.
Yeah,
Maybe
they might be
keep-
tanked too.
Might be
Yeah,
tanking. The
The worst team in the
Spurs.
league.
The Spurs. De'Aaron.
Ooh.
The
That's
Spurs, Zion. How cool would it
Gross.
be to have Zion and
That
Wemby
would be
next to each other?
wild.
Be great for the 5 minutes they play together.
It'd be so sick.
I got one for the Lakers.
Mediocrity.
That's not their
Um,
resolution. That's just their reality.
Yeah.
I like the trade they made. That was impressive
Yeah.
for DFS.
Maybe the answer.
You think
for
so?
Them, maybe the answer
liked
for
it.
them is
Dorian
is-
Finney-Smith ain't fixing that thing.
well,
I don't know if
he's not
God
fixing
can
it.
fix that thing.
maybe it's depth. I think the Lakers and their
That's good.
fan base always wants like the third star. Maybe you just need really good depth and versatility around LeBron and AD, and that'll work just fine.
Yeah.
Smoot had a funny one with Draymond therapy. That's pretty good. But I have a Golden State related one. Direction. I think they need to pick a direction here. Are you going to trade for Jimmy Butler, or are you going to try and get Kuminga to come up and Moses Moody give him more minutes? They've got to decide.
I got one for the Kings.
Oh god.
Kangs.
I thought I had one for the Kings. Help. How about that? Competency. Let's go. The Kings' resolution is competency.
Yes.
They had one good year.
And
You got-
fired their coach on his
could-
way to the airport.
Could we? Is this blasphemy? Could we say the same thing about Phoenix? Phoenix has had one good year in like the last 20. They have sucked for
Yeah.
a long time. And the one time they had a good team, they overthought it and they blew it all up. And
Well,
they
they
tried
got
to put
new
all their eggs
ownership.
in one basket. And their
Yep.
new owner's an idiot. And it's just been horrible. I think Phoenix's word might be rebuild.
Yeah.
Because this ain't going anywhere. KD's not getting younger. Brad Bill is cooked. You are in absolute hell with the cap and with your pick situation.
They started off the season really well. And then they just keep getting injuries, and it's just kind of been a mess since.
For the Wolves, maybe chemistry.
It's a good one.
They need
There's
that.
some weird vibes there.
Very weird vibes. Oh, this is maybe my favorite one. Smoot says the Hornets are kilometers because they need to get rid of Miles. That's a bar.
That's
That's
good.
your
Great.
favorite player, Jacob.
It's
That
good.
is a bar. I wish someone would go to a Hornets game and throw pool balls at Miles Bridges. George, cream cheese in the chat from George says Wolves are rewind. I don't think
Cream
that's a bad one.
cheese in the chat from George.
I don't know where it went, but Donnie Hazelwood in our chat said Dylan Jones, Chinese.
Try to
Matt
China.
dropped a wild one that will not be put on the screen.
Yep. That one can't go up.
That one ain't making it. Sean says Kawhi retirement.
He's coming back. What an announcement video he made.
He's got a
Put
lot of
more
money on
effort
that
into
contract.
that than his
He
health.
made an
over.
announcement video.
Yeah.
Good for him.
The Utah Jazz, Cooper.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Are we done with New Year's resolutions? I like doing the one word. That was fun.
It was hard.
That was fun.
Gentlemen, before we do predictions, our predictions are going to be for this next week, which is a pretty busy week. I did think we could take just a moment to touch on this next stretch of games because I think it's the most difficult stretch. God, Connor. I think it's the most difficult stretch. All right, someone kick David Skelton out of the chat too, all right? This next stretch of basketball for the Thunder might be the most difficult of the season. The upcoming schedule is Timberwolves, Clippers, Knicks, Celtics, Cavs, Knicks again, Wizards, Sixers, Cavs again. That's a heck of a 9-game stretch. Nick, what are you looking for and what are you expecting out of these next 9, which are a pretty intense schedule?
I think I'm given their cushion. Like, I think this is going to be a potentially toxic time on social media. I think that this fan base, I'll get to my point. So it's maybe a side tangent. The fan base has got a little bit spoiled, and we see it when the Thunder has one bad quarter, things blow up. These next 9 or 10 games, there probably will be some losses, which is something the fan base has not experienced in a while. But for perspective, given the cushion Oklahoma City has, 5 games over second place, if they can have a winning record over the next 9 games, even if it's 5-4, they will be 39-9, which will still be plenty good to the top
29-9
spot in the West. What did I say?
39.
Oh, no, it'll be 31-9.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
More math.
So all that to say, like, if you can just go a game above 500 during the toughest stretch of your season, and you're still a ton over 500, number 1 in the West, like, still probably have a couple game cushion, and the schedule gets easier, and you're that much closer to Chet being back, like, that's fine. So to answer your question, I don't expect. Good point, Justin. I don't expect them to go like 7-2, though they could. I'm thinking if you have a winning record over these next 9, you're fine.
I'm with you, Nick. Like we always say, take care of the games and the teams you're supposed to. Try to split the rest. That's exactly where this team is at right now. Like if you can split the Knicks games, please God, let them win in MSG because I will be at that game and I desperately want to watch them win in MSG. If they can win in MSG, if they can win one of those 2 Cavs games, I think you can beat the Wolves on New Year's Eve, and I think you can beat the Clippers on Thursday. And then if you lose to the Knicks on the Sega Baba Friday night, and you lose to Boston on that Sunday afternoon game, like I think that's fine. And then you go, say you lose to the Cavs in Cleveland, you beat Knicks, Wizards, Sixers on that 3-game trip, and then you come back home and you beat the Cavs. That's a hell of a stretch.
Yeah. And like, not that this is what you should cheer for or root for. I'm going to do math live on the show. If the Thunder goes 500 from here on out, someone check me in the chat. I believe they would win 52 freaking games.
That's pretty
and
crazy.
500 the rest of the way seems like a doomsday scenario.
Yes.
So let's put that into perspective.
Yep.
Can you
I think
imagine the state of this podcast if they went 500 the way?
It wouldn't be ideal.
They end up with the 4th seed and still host a first-round playoff series.
Yep.
Still not bad. I think
Not
for
bad.
me...
Meanwhile, the 76ers have to go 500 the rest of the way to even win like 40 games.
True.
Yep. I don't know. Like I want to stay on this topic of these next 9 games because it feels like a really big portion of the season. We also have to consider they're not fully healthy. Their second best player isn't playing. Also, like I know it's a small sample. We're not even halfway through the season. The West is more difficult than the East. But when I look at it, am I wrong to think the Thunder are like hands down the best team in the West right now? Like no
Yeah.
question, not close.
I think so.
I think you're right. Still feels like the other teams are figuring themselves out still, or are dealing with.
I think the Thunder are figuring themselves out. They're just
They
really
are.
freaking good during
They
the
are.
process.
Yeah, the Thunder's
Yeah.
floor is so clearly higher than everyone else. Everyone else is still figuring out their ceiling, and the Thunder are too, but their floor is much higher.
They're kind of at a point where if they make a trade at the deadline for a significant piece, significant meaning like not a star, like a Cam
Say the
Johnson
name,
being
Nick.
significant, it's almost twofold. Like, yes, he would help the Thunder, but like him not going to a Memphis or a Dallas or whatever is like probably more important than him. Like, he gets traded to the Thunder and just sits on the bench the rest of the year. It's a win for the Thunder.
True.
Him not being somewhere else in the West.
True.
As an example, that's the point that they're at, which is super impressive.
For sure. I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'm excited for a lot of these upcoming games, but specifically those Cavs games with how good the Cavs offense is, to see that versus OKC's defense. And I would love for OKC to like be as healthy as they can be for those games. Have Alex Caruso out there. Obviously, you're not going to have Chet, which I think would be great to
double
have
bigs versus double bigs. That'd
Yeah.
be a blast.
It'd be so cool.
So, but I don't know. To me, this next 9-game stretch doesn't. If they go 2-7, it sucks, but that doesn't mean anything to me for the playoffs. Just as 7-2 doesn't really. But I'm with Nick on close to 500 would be ideal.
Can
I
I give
agree
you
with
this is kind of relevant to the schedule. And I'm not saying the Thunder will beat the Cavs once or twice in the stretch, but I think long term, the Cavs, the reason I don't buy them and the reason Vegas is like, they're like 8th in Vegas in championship odds, despite being number 1 in the NBA. They're the same way the Thunder's 3-point shooting has been so obscurely awful this year relative to last season, though the volume and the difficulty may be up. The Cavs are the inverse.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Okoro, who his entire career has always been a streaky 3-point shooter, is shooting 49.2%. Karis LeVert, 47.4. Craig Porter, 45.5. Evan Mobley, 43.7. Darius Garland, 43.6. Ty Jerome is like a 6-man of the year candidate, shooting 41 points. He's a good shooter, but like this is absurd. Donovan Mitchell, 41.2. Like they just have these guys that are just inflating. Like as soon as that goes down to the mean, the Cavs are still going to be really damn good, but they're not better than the Celtics.
150 points on Denver good.
Yeah,
Right.
right. It's
Exactly.
just,
That's insane shooting. That's
Yes.
absolutely unsustainable.
yes.
So
yes.
during this
Though
stretch,
they will
we-
probably shoot 90% against the Thunder in these 2 games
Right.
coming up. But
Well-
long term, that's my take.
I was going to say, like, during this stretch, maybe we see some of those teams, their true colors show. And the Thunder are able to beat some of these teams that we think are going to be really good matchups because they do kind of regress back to the mean. But I think for me during this stretch, the big theme that I'm going to be looking for, and I think this goes back to a quote that Jalen Williams-Dub had here a year ago, 2 years ago now. He just had a big performance. He was asked about it post-game and said that was Dub, not Jalen, that kind of thing. I'm looking for Dub. With the competition ramping up, we need to see J-Dub, kind of like Silva, what you alluded to earlier in the podcast. We need to see him get the offense going, even if he's not getting to the free throw line. He wasn't really getting to the free throw line last year, but he was automatic. 4th quarter Dub. We talked so much about it. I want to see more of that 4th quarter Dub, especially when there's some really talented teams are playing coming up. There are solid defensive teams that are going to be showing a lot of bodies at Shai. And that's when a player like Dub needs to kind of be that release valve and be able to open up the floor for the rest of his team and also for Shai. So I'm going to be watching how Dub responds really to this increased competition moving forward.
This will be I'm most interested in the non-SGA players and minutes in this difficult stretch. Like what do the role players do? What does J-Dub do? Are they able to compete? And if, like Taylor just said, if the other team is totally focused on shutting down SGA, what do they look like in a competitive, not playoff intensity, but a more intense atmosphere? These are all really good teams, as we've discussed.
It's gonna be a good run. It's gonna be fun. Let's predict some of them. How about that?
How about that?
How about that? We will
How
get
about that?
Justin's predictions in soon. Do you guys want to know the updated standings of the
Did
prediction?
you get
game?
mine in last week?
Yes. Do you remember what
Okay.
yours were last week? And I can confirm.
I messaged them to you. I think it was 3. No, it was 1 loss. The rest wins. I'm almost positive.
Yes. Then I have it. Yes.
Okay.
Here are the standings. Justin, 18 points, last place. Nick, 20 points, second to last place. Taylor and JD, 30 points.
Ooh, making a comeback, JD.
Hello.
Me, 32 points.
Why do you say it like that? Second
Like
to
what?
last. Just say fourth.
Fourth.
That sounds way better than second to last.
Well, get better.
Well, count my wins and losses.
I did. I just told you what they were.
For this week you
Schedule.
did.
Here we go. Thunder play again Tuesday night, the annual New Year's Eve game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Who did they win tonight? I know is that game still going on? It is not. They won against San Antonio 112-110. They will come to OKC Tuesday night. Nick, what happens on New Year's Eve night in the basketball game, not in your personal life?
I'm gonna take a win here, mostly because I think the Thunder's like 12 or 13 or 14-4 on New Year's Eve. It's just like a weird game they always get up for. And for that reason, I'm gonna take a W.
All right, Taylor.
I also had the W. I think it was pretty obvious, even with the Thunder playing, what was it, the third night or their third game in 4 nights tonight, just being back in front of the home crowd, being home. I think that's a huge boost. I think the crowd's going to be awesome New Year's Eve, not just because Jacob and I will be there. So I'm going to go with the
That'll
W.
be a little bit of the reason, though.
How many beers are you gonna have before the game, Taylor?
Little pregame. I don't know.
How many,
It's a good
how
question.
many beers?
What are we setting the over under at?
3.5.
4.5?
3.5 is probably a fair number. I think I'll probably hit the under.
Respectable.
JD, what happens New Year's Eve?
A big old W.
I will also go a win on New Year's Eve. The
Why
next
is
game,
Silva's W big and old? That's my
Big
question.
old
Big and
W.
old.
are you moneyballing that W, Silva, since it's big?
I considered it. There's another game I'm feeling better about, though.
Okay. Let's go Thursday, January 2nd. The Thunder take on the Los Angeles Clippers, JD.
I'm thinking the medium-sized W.
Okay. I am taking a large size W with a money ball.
Wow.
Nick,
I'm going to take the Moneyball loss.
Whoa.
If I'm going to climb back into this thing, I got to go off the beaten path here a little bit. Clippers defense is real. James Harden has been better than expected. I could just see it being a game that one of those weird ones, like they beat the Celtics and Knicks after, but they lose to the friggin' Clippers.
TP, Clippers game.
I'm taking an L for a very similar reason. I think they're going to be riding the high from New Year's Eve. A couple days at home, taking it easy, and I could see them coming out and losing a game that they probably should win against the Clippers.
Gotcha.
No money ball, though. Saving it.
Sega Baba Friday night against the New York Knicks, Taylor.
I'm going with the W money ball.
All right. Nick?
Bounce back game.
I'm going to go a W as well.
I'm going with a win against the Knicks, JD.
I'm going with an L.
Okay.
Just an L.
Okay. Well, then, JD, I think you're still due a money ball. And we've got the Sunday afternoon matinee game against the Boston Celtics.
And I'm picking an L with a money ball.
Wow.
Man.
Afternoon games were rough for this team last year.
Yep.
I'm taking a W.
W.
taking a brunch L.
Give me a George Bush because I'm going W. Sorry, Taylor. I think that's the Jimmy Carter sound.
Oh my god.
No.
May he rest in peace. Elite sounder usage. I am going to take a W here. I think 3-1 on the week, the way the Thunder are playing, pending health. They're going to show up on the national stage against the Celtics. Going with the win.
Hey, George says his middle initial is W as well. So now I can say, oh, we got a George W. Bush and we got a George W. Goodwin.
Thank you, George.
Wild, isn't it? Kind of wild. You know, I always thought that George Bush was a small man. George W. was a small man.
Like
I saw
in
him
stature?
Yeah.
I
I
gotta
saw
get
him at a
that
golf
sounder.
tournament.
What else?
What you think he's like the size of like that Japanese dude for the Memphis Grizzlies?
No. I thought he was maybe like 5'9", 5'10". I saw him at a golf tournament and he was like my height. And I was like mind blown. Like he's a good 6 foot. Oh God.
Connor says
great.
George W. Goodwin, and the W's for with cream cheese. Cream cheese from George W. in the chat.
Cream cheese in the chat from George.
W.
W.
Oh my goodness. I think it's time for us to get out of here, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into the pod. I don't think we have a Tuesday night pod because nobody's podcasting on New Year's Eve. Maybe we'll have JD podcast live from the casino.
Yeah, I'll just be at I'll have my camera hand. I'll be at the slot machine, just
cranking it.
Yep, cranking at the slot machine.
We may have a Thursday and a Friday night post games. I don't know who's signed up for that, but we will let you guys know. So join us then. Have a great week. Enjoy your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We will talk to you guys soon. And join the Patreon. Follow us on all the social media channels. And until then, thunder up.